Welcome to the Cinematic Doors podcast, episode 30. Thank you so much for listening.
30? Wait,
Episode
hold
30,
on.
and we have
I thought we were on
as
episode 11.
as you can tell, we have our hosts here, Jordan Clark
Joshua Dore.
and thank you so much for listening to our podcast. You can find us on all the major podcast networks, including Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. By the way, Google Podcasts, I got a weird email. I think it's going away. So just in
Like
case
Google
you're wondering that.
Podcast is dying.
I think so. They might be folding into something. I don't know. But you can find us on there for
Nice.
now. And you can also interact with our show by emailing us at Gmail, which no one does, but you can go to cinematicdoors@gmail.com. You can also go to our socials, Instagram at cinematic_doors, Twitter or X now at cinematic doors, and TikTok at cinematic doors. And how do you spell doors, Josh?
Dores. Not
Yes.
Door.
The real way, the right way, right?
Yes.
And so, and you can watch us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Yeah.
What?
And you can, if you like our show, subscribe to our YouTube channel and share it with your friends. Share it on your news feeds once in a while. That'd be nice.
Get us to 100K.
And if you don't like our show, then you can tell us what you don't like about it. And maybe we'll change. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But let us know. And let us know what movies you want us to review. We still have some on our backlog that we should review one day. Two that I have in mind that I won't name. But we did go a little bit there before summer reviewing your suggestions. So if you have any suggestions that you want to hear, let us know. Kyla, we're talking to you.
We started
right?
one,
So,
and then the power went out. And then summer got crazy, so.
didn't we do that one though? Or it was Twilight and what else? Was it John Wick 4?
Yeah.
It was John Wick 4. We'll do John Wick 4.
John Wick,
We'll do it
just
again.
like the boogeyman, the light went out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So this is our show. Thank you for watching and listening today. Before we dive into how our weeks were and everything, we are going to be reviewing Talk to Me, which is a not famous horror film that came out this year.
I don't know. It's
kind of went under the radar a little bit.
I feel like a lot of people know it now.
Okay, like in your circles,
well, like I don't know about my circle, but like I think movie. I don't know what I'm saying.
In the movie world, okay, you're not wrong. Yeah, people have talked about it in the movie world and whatever.
Like I've seen a lot of praise for this movie.
So that's what we're going to be reviewing today. But before we get into that, Josh, how was your week?
Okay, like define my week. My week as in the last 7 days, or the last
from the beginning
15
of
days.
The beginning of October to now, October 1st to October 12th.
Okay. That's a good question.
There's some exciting things, right?
I play in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, your hockey team sucks, which is great.
Okay,
go Flames.
I didn't want to go into that.
Well, I'm a Flames fan, so I had to sting you a little bit. It's one game, but
I know.
You know, your team lost 8-1 to Vancouver.
I don't want to get it. When we were having dinner, you said they should win, and I said, yeah, they should. But I felt like they won't. I don't know. And then
you felt right.
I was watching it, and
you should go play the lottery because you are lucky.
Yeah, well, I love gambling.
So, did you watch the whole game, Josh, or what'd you do?
I actually watched a lot more than I should have.
Okay, you're a true fan then.
Up to the third.
Yeah,
and then I think there was about halfway through the third, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm signing out, going to bed. So,
well, to be fair, the Flames.
I don't want to talk about that because it's I'm a little sour.
Well, your feelings are okay. It's okay to have feelings, right?
No,
you're in your feelings, as Drake would say.
Yeah. I mean, the last time that I was this taken back by the Oilers was the Stanley Cup playoffs, and then I
When they lost,
almost crashed my car
right?
because of that, because of all this pressure on me. Like I was devastated. My anxiety got me, and yeah. So I will not crash my car after this loss because it's the first game.
One game, and
Yeah.
the Flames won their first game 5-3. Now, to be fair, Calgary did not play great. They didn't play terrible. They didn't lose 8-1. But Markstrom looked amazing. So he let in one bad goal, then he was unreal the rest of the game. So he stopped
Well, wasn't
35
it three
shots.
five? 3-5.
Yeah, yeah, and they beat the Jets. So
Yeah.
who
No.
they lost to last year for the playoff.
With the Oilers, just no one was good. So that was cool. Like I
That's the
don't think
first
there was
game.
a single player, but
Takes a
hey,
couple of games to get into the season.
rematch on Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. Is it in Edmonton
Yeah.
on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Home turf.
we'll see.
There we go. Hockey's back. I'm excited.
Oh
Josh,
yeah.
turn your mic down a little bit more.
Oh my goodness. Wait, while we're in this pause right now.
Oh, this is a pause? Okay.
Yeah. Because you told me to turn down my mic. You're gonna keep
Right.
that in?
Why not? We have to be authentic.
No, we
The
don't.
people want authenticity.
Not when you tell me to turn down my mic. But you have to take that out because I stood up. And I'm not allowed to reveal my knees.
What if we just what if I repeated you getting up like a supercut and put some
What?
music to it? Like a
No.
meme?
No.
Uh,
Jordan.
so so you had a rough
No.
hockey
No,
night last
Jordan.
night, and
Yeah.
you're on reading break this week.
Yeah. It's fun.
There you go.
I'm going to a wedding tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
That'll be a blast. So by the time this goes up, you would have gone to a wedding yesterday, right?
Whoa. Mind blown.
Mind blown.
I'm married.
You would still be. This is how rumors get started. Love it. Is there
Disclaimer,
anything?
I'm not married.
Yes,
Not
single.
married. Not ready to mingle. Okay.
Has there anything you've been watching
This is awful.
other than bad Edmonton games?
I've been watching myself play Tears of the Kingdom. I honestly like
Oh
my
no!
watching game has really gone down, especially because it's October. I should be watching all these horror movies.
And how's Tears of the Kingdom? I haven't played it yet, so
It's great. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
I've been playing. Like I told you before, I've been playing Starfield, and I've also been playing Resident Evil 4 Remake, which has been awesome. That game is so
Just in
good.
time for
So
spooky season.
yeah, and I remember playing that game. The first time I played that game, I was in grade 10, and I wasn't allowed to play that game. And my parents went away for the weekend, and I rented it for my GameCube, and I just played it all weekend. It was so fun.
Did
So
you get it at Blockbuster?
I did. There was a Blockbuster right where I lived. It was like a 5-minute walk, and I would go there all the
Wow.
time. It was awesome. Those are the good
Jordan,
times when you would rent
you're a
video
rebel.
games, you rent movies.
See, I would never finish the game. I buy games and then don't finish them.
Right. Well, you would feel compelled to finish it because you had to take it back by a certain day, and then you could renew it once. But if the game was brand new or popular, game or movie, so if it was like a new release, you couldn't renew it at all. So you would have
Uh,
to put it back in the slot, and then you would have to come back and rent it again. But they would hold people could book the game. So if the game was out, if the game was
wow.
taken, you could actually get next in line to get it. Once it comes in, they would call you. And then you have to go to the store by a certain time to pick it up. And then if you miss the time, then they would just rent it out to someone else. So yeah. And you would go to these stores, and because you didn't really grow up with this, I guess.
I went to Blockbuster.
Okay.
but I was not old enough to rent games.
Right. So it was
Like
super
I
fun.
have vivid memories of looking at like Sandlot
Right, like
on the
movies and stuff.
shelf. Just Sandlot, the movie.
Nice. It's a good movie to look at. So we would go like it was so fun because if the game was out, it would just be like there were all the game cases would be on the shelf, and then if the game was out, there would be nothing behind the game case. But if it was in the case, the empty case would be behind the game. And so you would be like so excited because you feel behind it and you're like, oh, there's a case there, and you get to grab it, and it was so fun. So
Wow.
and you could rent it for 3 days. I think it was 3 days, or yeah, 3 days, and then you have to bring it back, or you could renew it. And so it was super fun.
Wait.
So, anyways, back in the day when we used to rent stuff and rent it out and not buy it right away, and then you would feel like you would have to finish the game because you
Mm-hmm.
only had it for a certain amount of time. So it was super fun. Different times.
Yeah.
So now you
Well,
don't have
like
to go to the store. You just buy
renting
digitally,
Breath of the
downloads on your
Wild would be like Tears of the Kingdom.
right.
That would be
Yeah.
insane. You could not get it done.
Well, and this is why save states were so important. So you would just save it on your console and then take it back and then wait until you can rent it out again, right? If you didn't
Oh,
finish it.
okay.
So uh, it was fun. It was like, and I mean, I was a kid, like teenager too, when I was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So couldn't afford to buy every game, if any. You would just
Yeah.
have to rent it, right? So that's how you played games. It'd be like one game at a time. I kind of miss that part of it where, because now I just play on PC and I just buy games for like $10, $5 if they go on
Mm-hmm.
sale. And I have a huge backlog now because
Yeah.
you just buy games when they're on sale. Same with movies. Like I go on,
I have so many random games on my PlayStation that I'll
right,
never
and like,
play.
yeah, it's. But like back then, you would like even if the game was crappy, you would still play it till to death because that was like the game that you had, right? So
That was the game.
that was the game. Yeah,
Wow.
it was a good time.
Thank you for
Anyways, old school
this Throwback Thursday.
throwback Thursday. Yeah. So I get like yeah, our falls. I guess September has gone by. Your September sounded busy. Mine was crazy busy. I was working two
Yeah, it probably
jobs and
was.
it was busy. Now we're back to normal. So
Yeah.
and I didn't really watch anything either, to be honest. Well,
I finally finished Harry Potter.
yeah, you were saying that, and you liked it, right?
Yeah, but I didn't say it to the podcast.
No, I know, but no
Just to you.
spoilers because I still want to watch it.
You haven't seen it?
No,
Okay, well, it took me and my mom about a year or so to watch all the movies.
how many movies are there? There's like 8, right? Is
Yeah,
there 8?
yeah.
I have crave. I think I just might
Oh,
burn through them.
but they're like 3 hours, so
I watched the first 2.
they're good
Yep.
movies.
I watched
It's
Philosopher's Stone
just
and Chamber of Secrets. I
like we
haven't seen
couldn't
any others.
watch 2 at a time because we would watch them at night, and I don't know.
Well,
Just
they were
whenever we were
there.
available.
Those are your movie nights, right? They did with your
Yeah.
family. That's a
Well,
fun.
it
That's
ended
a fun
just
idea.
my brother, me, my brother, and my mother all started. Then my brother went ahead and watched all of them without us, which was like a great betrayal. And then it was just me and my mom take like in it to the end, the real ones.
Okay, so it is a great portrayal when you're watching something with someone like that, and then they just watch ahead of you.
Yeah, I know,
It
right?
does suck. Like it is a huge. It is a huge betrayal. It really is.
Also, do you want to do something fun?
What's that?
Open some hockey cards.
Do it. Let's do it. Tim Hortons.
Morton's.
Oh, now you have to
Let's
make this a
see.
thing, Josh.
Really?
I don't have the cards. You're the card guy, I guess.
Okay, let's see who we got here. Anze Kopitar. So if you're watching the video, you can see
Holographic.
Anze. Well, these are just the regular.
Are those top decks? Is that what that is?
Upper Deck.
Upper Deck.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Then we got a Matthew Kachuk point leaders
Oh,
special card. Look at that shiny.
he
You
looks
see
pretty
that?
ugly in that Florida uniform. I'll say that.
Okay, well. And then Mark Andrew Fleury, the guy who tripped Bedard on his first shootout.
Mark Andre Fleury.
Is that
Yes.
what did I say?
On. It sounded like you said Andre.
Well, I don't know why I said that, but that was the poll for today. Oh,
Do holographics mean anything anymore? Is that a big deal?
well, it would if it wasn't the Tim Hortons cards,
Yeah.
but
So are all Tim Hortons cards holographic?
most of them, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
I'll
there you
try
go.
to-
It makes you feel special,
Yeah, I
right?
feel really special.
There you go. Putting it on your set, getting ready.
Maybe I'll have some more to open up next time.
Josh, I think your room is
Maybe some
haunted.
Pokemon.
The light
Why?
shutting off, and
My mom
we're about to
opening the
dive
door.
into we're about to dive into the spirit world.
Okay, and this is gonna be
So-
a good episode. So
By the way, before we do this review, we are doing our second Spooktacular festival, whatever we call
I
it.
can't believe we actually have a second.
Yes.
Like we have a
So
part. Like this is crazy.
here's
Jordan,
the thing:
we're
is our
doing it.
last Spooktacular episode was our most watched or most listened to episode. So hopefully it's a big one again this year. And if you have any suggestions you want us to include in that, a scary movie that you love or that you hate, please message us, let us know, text us, do all the things we told you to do at the
I
beginning of the
will
episode.
tell you this. Okay, wait until after this review to see what kind of movies you should send us.
Yeah, I guess so. Because this is a spooky movie, but it sounds like
This
we'll
could
just
be your
review spooky
basis.
movies until then, and then we'll have a whole collection of movies that we've watched. That
Well, I guess just like
Yeah.
welcome to Spooktoberfest. Like this is the
Yes.
beginning,
there we go.
but it's
So-
not our Spooktabular.
And our last
whatever it is.
episode, our last spectacular episode was 2 hours. It was 2 hours 10
Yeah,
minutes.
that's
So
our longest one.
it'll be around the
It's
same
like
length.
This is a
So-
movie length. What is this? A podcast?
That's a movie length. Well, maybe we'll split it into two and over two. I don't know. We can.
We'll see.
People listen to it though. It was our most, and the completion, the attachment rate on the listening of that episode is
Like people actually finish that.
85, 90. I think it's 88%. Yeah.
Dang, I would not listen
Crazy.
to that whole thing. If my friend came up to me and was like, "Listen to my podcast. It's 2 hours long," I'd be like, "No."
Get out.
Which is a good movie, by the way.
And he'd be like, nope.
Nope. Us.
All three of those movies are excellent. Go watch them if you haven't seen them.
Oh, we should throw Us on the list.
Yeah, let's do it. That's a good idea.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
Okay, so we're gonna dive into our review of Talk to Me, and I'm excited.
To me, Jordan. Talk to me.
I'm really excited as we do this. Okay, Josh. Okay, so Talk to Me.
Okay.
Just wait. So, Talk to Me is directed by the Philippou brothers. So Danny and Michael Philippou, who are Australian, and they are actually the brothers behind the famous YouTube channel Raka Raka. And this movie is also written by Bill Hinsman and Danny Philippou. And I think it's Bill Hinsman. It might be someone else. There's someone else credited in the credits for creating this concept of this movie. And it's starring Sophie Wilde, Miranda Otto from Lord of the Rings fame, by the way. And everyone in this movie is Australian. This is an Australian movie. It was funded by the Australian government. This is like a local foreign movie, I guess you could say. And they wanted to film it in their native area and where they grew up, which is pretty. Even the music is from done by a famous Australian. Yeah, so everything is made in Australia,
Sorry.
which is pretty cool.
I don't want to offend all the Australians. I know there's more
Well, you
instruments than
don't
just
like-
didgeridoo.
You don't like British people, so it's not
Okay.
far off.
I don't like British people, but I'm okay with Australians.
Oh
Honestly,
man.
sometimes I feel like I can relate to Australians.
Okay. In what way?
Like I don't know, I feel like it's just similar to Canada, just more spiders
More spiders,
and
kangaroos.
kangaroos.
And so let's I do have a bit of a disclaimer for this movie. So this movie has a violent moment. It's very spooky and
Oh
it deals with
boy.
demons and ghosts and spiritual stuff. So if you don't like any of that, I don't
And
recommend this
there's
movie.
talking in this film, so
And this movie
watch
is
out.
not for kids. Yeah. So
No, no,
I'm
no.
gonna I'm bringing back my disclaimers just because of what I do and stuff, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna get into
because he's a
actually
family
why I
friendly
love this.
man.
Right. So, anyways, Josh, what did you think of Talk to Me? Initial
Okay,
thoughts.
so this movie uh made me realize I have low blood pressure.
Okay. What does that
Uh,
mean? So this movie rose your
so
blood pressure or you fell asleep?
no, I'm gonna have to admit this to you right now, Jordan.
Yeah.
I did not get through this whole movie.
Like you didn't for what reason?
Because I passed out.
Oh my goodness. What? In
so
the theater?
so I got to the scene with the brother and
Okay. And like by the way, we spoil stuff. So
and
go watch it
so,
if you don't want to get spoiled.
which I had empathy for this kid because he's a kid, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then he starts bashing his face into the thing, and it made me really sick. And
Yeah.
so I tried to get through it, but I was feeling really queasy, so I left the theater and I ended up passing out on the way out.
Oh my goodness, Josh. What?
So
And you were with people, right? You were with a friend?
yeah, I was with a friend. It
Oh
was funny
no.
because I went to sit down at one of the tables in the lobby. I kind of laid my head down, and then I woke up on the floor, and I'm like, "What? What's happening?" And my friend's like, "Are you okay? What happened? What happened?" But I told her prior that I was like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. But she called for one of the people, and she's like, "Come, someone, we need help," and just everyone ignored her. And so I got up and we walked out of the theater.
First of all, it's terrible customer service at that theater.
But yeah, so I ended
That's
up
the worst customer service I've ever heard of at a theater as
that
you're
was
like
my third
passing out.
time passing out this year. So I went
What?
to the doctor and they told me that I have low blood pressure. And so this movie made me realize I have low blood pressure.
Oh my goodness, Josh. Wow.
But however, so my review on this movie is uh is irrelevant because I
Oh no,
did not finish it.
headphones.
Um, so I mean, maybe that's a disclaimer. And like I'd say I'm fairly good with movies, so
Oh,
this
you made it that's like halfway.
this movie made me
That's
sick.
halfway. Okay.
Like that scene made me really sick, and it made
And
me
that and
feel
that's
really awful.
and that seems
And
really intense. Yeah.
I hated that
Yeah.
scene so
Okay.
much. And I would have left even if I didn't like. I don't know. Like I just started feeling really queasy, like how the
Wow.
first episode of Invincible made me feel,
Okay.
and I passed out, so that was cool.
I have honestly never even you hear stories of like when The Exorcist came out or Alien, like
Yeah,
people passing out and stuff, and I always thought those
which
stories are kind of
I
ridiculous, but
I
that's
never thought that
crazy.
I was
Yeah,
going to pass out. Like I had
that's
no
insane.
expectations. I thought I could do it. Like I've seen some weird stuff, some gory stuff, but I guess I just didn't have enough salt that day, and
Well,
I
okay,
passed out.
so yeah, like your thoughts won't be irrelevant because we're gonna talk around what I think this movie even means, like, and why I love it so much. I've
But
seen this movie a couple of times, so
you know, the parts that I did see, I did enjoy.
Yeah. I mean,
So
the movie was supposed to make you feel like that. That was the point,
make me
right? So,
feel sick and pass out. Because
well,
if
not
they were
pass out,
trying
but
to do that,
that
then
that part is like I've seen it 3 times now. It's still really hard to watch,
it
right? And
makes
like,
me it made I because I,
and
I
it,
I knew when I met this character. I don't remember
yeah.
what his name was. Um, I don't. Yeah, I think I just remember Mia, which I did not like Mia. I didn't like her character.
Well, you haven't seen the ending. Do you know what happens at the end?
I did watch like a summary on what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
And so I do know what happens, and that made me like her even less.
But she
But
is like she's possessed the whole movie
yeah, what from the
because
beginning?
yes, because she goes past the 60 seconds or the 90s. Is it 60 or 90? It's
No, no,
90,
not no. I didn't like her from the beginning.
like the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting. Okay,
Wait,
what
did
didn't
she
you
go
like?
past? Did she go past the 60 seconds, or
Yeah,
did
the
his
very first
brother
time
do
she
it?
volunteered. Yeah, like they tried to pull the hand off her, and it's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
quick, but they do. So like the rest of the movie, and then she gets addicted to it, right?
yeah.
So
See, I this
so the
movie really um depicted like drugs and that kind of stuff, and how easily I at
right.
least this is what kind of what I got from it. It's like how easily addicting it can be and how it can ruin your life. Um,
Well, and I think that is a meaning of it. I don't think that's what I think this movie is literally about obsession with demons and the spiritual worlds uh and I think it is I think it's about addiction in general, right? Whether
yeah,
it's you're addicted to a party trick and TikTok trends or you're addicted to social
podcast.
media, right? Podcast or and I think the hand I think so if you haven't seen this movie the concept is there is this and this is in the trailer so this is not a spoiler but there is this creepy
Which don't
hand.
watch the trailer apparently because
No,
it's
there's well this is what I like about the movie but anyways there's this creepy hand and uh you basically can experience you can talk to ghosts and demons or ghosts from people that have passed away or that are dead and you someone at the party puts their hand on the hand like a handshake and says talk to me and then they see these spirits and then they say let me in and the spirits possess them and if they go past 90 seconds then the spirits will start to overtake you and they won't leave but if you get the
Mhm.
hand off of the person before 90 seconds the spirit will be gone and so it's like this short time of experiencing being possessed and being in this other world and it's become this huge like party trend in the movies world so there's all these social media uh on TikTok and Facebook live or TikTok probably Insta live like all these parties are happening with this hand and it's like this known thing that this is real but some people don't believe it so
Which
it's like
you
let's have
know
the
is
party and let's see if it's real right that's the whole draw of it right and so that's what this movie's about and
yeah.
it's about grief and loss and
Hmm.
Mia we find out at the very beginning of the film lost her mom and it's implied that she killed herself or you start to learn throughout the movie that that's what she did
Hmm.
and that's where the movie starts. And so, yeah, that's what this movie's about. So now you know what it's kind of about, and it'll inform the review moving
Yeah.
forward. So,
Which, by
uh,
the way,
yeah,
the fact that you said like I've always heard people talking about how people passed on the exorcism, but I didn't
in
think
The
it was
Exorcist,
real.
yeah,
It kind of just shows it's like, oh, I saw these people being possessed by this hand, but I didn't think
right,
it was real.
yeah, no, that's exactly what this movie's about. And
Yeah.
when you watch the interviews from the two guys who directed it, that's what the movie's about. And they
Mhm.
actually they like the drug analogy because the hand could represent drugs, right? It could like there's a scene where after she does it the first time and the young boy is like fascinated, he's very scared as well because that the possession scenes, there's only a couple in the movie. I think there's honestly only 3 in the entire
Are
movie,
you
but
sure?
they're yeah, but they are so well done and so creepy and so atmospheric and scary, and like they stick with you
Well, there was that
throughout the movie.
montage.
Yeah, I guess maybe there's four because there's one in her bedroom. So you didn't see the bedroom scene.
No.
Yeah, that's like the creepiest part.
Okay, well, I didn't even get there,
It's so
so
scary. Yeah,
was it?
it's
I
really
don't know. It's
creepy.
just
Yeah, but this movie
I
doesn't
like.
have any jump scares. Like it's all practical
Yeah.
effects. It's just
Oh,
really well done in that way. So,
like
anyways, that's what this movie is about,
this movie
and
killed me.
I love this movie. Like, if we would have filmed this on Tuesday night when we were going to film this, I would have said it's a masterpiece. I watched it again. I don't think it's quite a masterpiece, but because I have problems with the third act, and just because it's a bit
Oh
rushed
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. Same.
right. Um,
Yeah,
so
third
I
act
have
was a little
problems in the
rushed.
third part. But this movie, like that scene you're talking about, Josh, where you couldn't watch anymore, it is brutal. And it's brutal because it plays on that theme of innocence getting totally corrupted,
Yeah,
right?
that
And just like The
was
Exorcist, it's the
that
same
was
theme
really
as The
hard.
Exorcist.
Honestly,
And
like
yeah,
when I started watching this movie and I saw that kid, and I was like, oh gosh, I really hope nothing bad happens to this kid. But I don't see this ending without something bad. And when it started happening, I was like, ooh, this is awful. And
yeah.
but yeah, I mean,
Well,
they did what
and this
they portrayed what they were trying to portray, I guess.
Well, and this movie's more than just about ghosts. It's called Talk to Me. It's all about this movie's about communication. And this movie, Mia, throughout the entire movie, starts to lose communication with everyone around her. And that's because she got addicted to doing the spiritual thing with the ghosts and the spirits and I call them demons, right? Um, and in the movie, like the boy asks her, "How did it feel?" And she's like, "It felt amazing. Like it felt
Hmm.
like," she talks about how it just felt euphoric and she couldn't wait to do it again. And it's like the reason I love this movie so much is because it's almost like a parable warning us against things that help us escape at times, or getting addicted to things that feel really pleasurable and feel really good, but in the end are those things can take us away from the people
Like
we love,
drugs.
like drugs, right? They can take us away into this dark place where we stop communicating with people. And
Hmm.
through and phones, like everyone's cell phone has a role to play in this movie. The very first possession scene where you see this trick happen for the first time, Mia gets tied to the chair, and then she looks at the hand, which is right in front of her, and everyone pulls up their phones, right? There's
Yeah.
this moment, it's like a wide shot, and you just see everyone hold up their phones. And it's really, I think it's one of the most chilling parts of the movie when you just see
Really.
everyone like, well, just like everyone in unison pulls up their phone, right? And getting ready to film it. And
Hmm.
it's just like, and like with that boys scene where it goes too far, and they weren't even really filming that one, but just that aspect of these people don't even care about what could happen. All they care about
Hmm.
is getting something filmed to get a certain amount of likes, and that is how we
Yeah.
communicate in this day and age. And that's what
Which
the movie's
okay.
about, right?
Another reason I hate Mia is because Mia did that to him. Because
It
his
will,
sister. Which why did his sister leave? What was she doing?
but Mia was already, because she went past the 90 seconds,
That's
right? So
true. But
so and
I didn't like Mia at the beginning.
but
She just annoyed me.
here's the
She
thing
was a
with
pick me
that
girl.
moment. So first of all, Sophie Wilde plays Mia. She is fantastic in this
I mean,
movie.
she did good, but she's a
All
pick
the
me,
acting
so I
all the
can't.
acting in this movie is excellent, across the board. The boy that they were talking about that plays Riley, he's amazing, and everyone does such a good job in this movie. Miranda Otto as Riley's mom is also really good. Like, she's really funny at times, but everything after the Riley incident is just really kind of dreadful. It feels really, it just feels like a bunch of or this heavy dread, this heavy like
Hmm.
because the mom is going through something. She doesn't know what happened to her kid, and no one will tell her what happened because they're afraid of what she's going to say, right? And then
Yeah, I
there's this
mean,
whole
would
thing
she
of them
even
trying to rescue
believe?
him,
That's the thing.
and that's the other part of it, right? So it
No,
just is
that's
such a layered movie in that way. It's so well
oh.
done, dealing with all those emotions and grief and playing with fire, right? Playing with
Mm-hmm.
something that you think is really fun and trendy, and then it blows up in your face like that, and it can be devastating. And I do think the way this movie portrays the spiritual world, I think, is really biblical. It's actually like, because the demons, because Mia loses her mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Riley gets possessed in that possession before he starts hurting himself, and he starts talking to Mia, and it's her mom,
Yeah.
right? So it's her mom talking to her from beyond the dead, and that's why Mia keeps him longer. Like, they're gonna take him out after 50 seconds, like it was, and she's like, "No, no, wait," because she wants to talk to her mom. So the demons
Mm-hmm.
are actually playing on her grief. They're actually tricking her into thinking, even telling her that her mom didn't commit suicide, and telling her that her dad is lying, which leads her to killing her dad, right? Um, which we see at the very beginning of the film. We see that guy who stabs himself in
Which,
the
by
face,
the
and
way,
yeah.
the beginning of the film, when that went on, that's when I knew I wasn't gonna have a fun time with this movie. Because I was just like, what is going on? Like, there's just some weird feeling to it. Like, it
Okay.
felt off. This movie
Yeah.
felt off from the beginning. And maybe it's because you, like, hyped it up, or my friend hyped it up. So
Right.
it's kind of blah. Maybe because I had zero expectations because you told me not to watch any trailers. Um, but when it started off, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know." Like, I just felt off with this whole movie.
This movie is very scary. I think it is very scary.
Well, I
Like,
don't know. I don't know
it
if
is it is. It's creepy, it's eerie,
it's just really off. It's just off-putting. Maybe maybe this is the first movie that's actually made me like this.
okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know any other movie that has made me feel this way. But
Right.
just the whole time I felt uncomfortable.
And I mean, this is part of the disclaimer. Like, this movie is about the demonic world, right? And it's
Hmm.
about someone losing herself to that world and getting sucked into it. And the way the demons are portrayed in this movie, is exact, like the Bible teaches us that, demons are deceivers, that they shapeshift, that they change form, right? And they change form to attract her into the world and bring her into the world. And I think, I was listening to Danny Philippou as in one of the interviews, and he said this is kind of like a parable and a warning to my generation, is what he was saying, right? To the
Hmm.
YouTube generation, and a warning against playing with the spiritual world, because he's like, I'm not a Christian, I don't believe in Jesus, but he was saying, he's like, he believes in haunted stuff. Like, he believes,
Yeah.
it's funny how people can believe in demons and haunted stuff and they can't believe in Jesus. Anyways, so
Ooh.
this movie has similar themes in that way, just like The Exorcist did, by the way. The Exorcist is about someone regaining their faith in Jesus through meeting the a demon, right? And so,
Hmm.
if the demon exists, then Christ has to exist, kind of thing. And this movie doesn't have a theme in that sense, but in the sense, this a lot of these kids don't believe in the demonic world. They just are playing with this thing and they think it's funny, and it ends up being really real. And it's kind of like a warning in that sense. Now, I'm not
Don't
going to
play
watch
with
this
the
movie,
Luigi boards.
not going to watch it over and over again. I don't know. I don't think I'll watch it until next year, right? But I do think it's very well done in that sense
I
of
don't know if I'll watch it again.
warning us. And Mia, in the end, ends up becoming, like, she gets killed, and then she actually
Which I thought it was interesting in the end,
yeah,
which
like,
just will
she
make me
becomes
sound
one of
like
those
I watched
spirits.
it, is that she sees her dad. So it's like, oh, her dad survived. But it's like, or neither of them survived.
Well, that ending scene is phenomenal because she's in. she gets hit by the
She's in the
car, but you
she's
don't
in
know
the
if she gets hit
hospital,
by the
right?
car, and then she goes back into the hospital, and then she sees Riley, and he gets better, right? Like Riley's healed.
So
So
is Riley alive?
yeah, so what happened was the demons were attacking Riley and keeping him in that world and staying in him to get
Hmm.
Mia.
Oh wait. So if she saw that Riley was better,
That
does
was
that
after
mean
she was
Riley?
dead.
But is Riley alive because she also saw her dad?
So in that scene, she was dead because her dad died. Like her dad, she stabbed her dad with the
Yeah.
scissors, right?
But
And
did
then
she not see her dad in the end?
she does. Like he goes into the elevator. Maybe he's alive then. Maybe you're right because he walks
So
into the
like so
elevator
if
and
and that's what I'm
leaves
kind of
her. Yeah,
like, and I don't know, I could just be dumb because I haven't seen this, but
yeah.
just based off of what I heard, um, like if she sees her dad like alive or whatever going into the elevator, but also Riley alive,
So I
is
think I
Riley
think you're
actually
right.
alive?
I think no, I think you are right. I think because Riley and his family leave the hospital, and her dad gets in the elevator and leaves the hospital, and she's the one that is stuck in the hospital.
So do
So
you
I
think
think
her
everyone's
dad's alive?
alive. Yes, I would
Okay.
actually agree with that now. And then all the lights start turning off in the hospital, and then she's just in
Mhm.
the pitch blackness,
Oh, and then there's the
and then
scene
a
where she's on the
candle.
other end.
Yes, a candle
Which,
goes
by the way,
on.
I do
Yeah,
kind of want to watch that scene. Like, I want to see
it's a
that.
great scene. It's
Oh, I should have
amazing.
watched that
It's
before.
really well. Like even
Darn.
honestly, Josh, if
What
you
kind of
just like skip,
podcaster am I?
but if you just skip that middle scene, right, and then
Yeah,
watch.
which I wish I stayed, but
I mean, I'm not saying you should have. Like
I know,
you passed out. So
you know, you know me.
because that scene that scene you're describing is brutal. It is the most brutal, one of the most brutal scenes I've ever seen. Like it is just, but that's what happens. Like
That's what happens when you play with the Luigi board.
that is the spiritual world, demonic forces. That's what happens. And
Kids, don't
so
buy a Luigi board. I mean, a Ouija board at Toys R Us. It's just not worth.
and this movie's called Talk to Me, and she's obsessed with talking to her dead mom, right? Which is what leads her to
To,
experimenting with the spiritual world
yeah.
because and she's not content with what obviously she's in grief as well, so I don't blame her as a character, as someone who's gone through grief like that over
Yeah.
someone,
But
but
like,
she
did you
but the
start
interesting
talking
but
to
the
your dead dad?
no, because I have faith in Jesus. No, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be like super preachy or anything, but
Yeah.
honestly, if I wasn't a Christian, maybe I would be obsessed with loss because but my dad knew Christ and he was in a relationship with him and he's in heaven. So
Hmm.
I have peace knowing that. I get joy knowing that and that one day I'll see him again. And that's why I watch a movie like this and it just emboldens my faith. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
the Bible teaches us this is what Satan does. Like this is what the spiritual world does. And by the way, the stuff in this movie is real. That's why it makes you feel like that, Josh. And I've experienced, like, I've seen demons. I've experienced demonic forces. I've seen someone possessed by demons in real life. Like, I've experienced it and I've seen it and I've seen the victory in Christ over it. And so I think that's why this kind of stuff fascinates me and I don't get
Hmm.
like as freaked out as other people do because I of my experiences. And maybe I shouldn't play with fire or I don't know, but I just know that and that's why this movie is so sad. Like it is such a
Yeah.
sad movie because there's no hope in it because there's no Christ. That's why I don't talk to my dad anymore. And that's why there's scripture in Deuteronomy where it literally says don't talk to spirits and mediums to talk to the dead because you're just talking to demonic forces, right? And they want to trick you into and that in this movie actually portrays them where they are playing with Mia the whole movie and they're playing tricks on her and the way they film, man, the filming in this movie is just amazing. Like the cinematography is
Yeah.
amazing. uh
Honestly, I'm
the
surprised that this is from YouTubers.
well, the possession scenes alone, like it's all practical effects too, and even some of the rigging with the camera movements and stuff when the possession scenes are happening, it's just really well shot. It's really intense. It doesn't look as goofy as The Exorcist does, because The Exorcist can look
Mhm.
a bit goofy now, especially. Um, and just little camera movements, like the camera shooting back as Mia gets pulled back, right? Uh,
Yeah.
and
I
even
did enjoy that.
yeah, and even when the guy, there is a weird, gross scene with a dog. By the way, the dog's
Oh, the
fine,
poor dog.
and but the guy tips over, and the camera tips over with him. Right? It kind of reminded me
Yeah.
of Everything Everywhere All at Once, in that way.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
so just some of the, and it just puts you in the moment. And even when Mia is having her visions, like I haven't been. I remember first watching The Sixth Sense, and it really creeped me out. And this movie gave me similar. Like I actually would compare it to The Sixth Sense.
Sixth
It's
Sense, when I watched that, I did not feel that didn't feel horror.
yeah. I mean, The Sixth Sense is not as scary as this movie,
Which
I
is a
would say.
great
Yeah,
movie, by the way.
yeah. And so
10 out of 10 would not
and
make you pass out.
and the sound design in this movie is just, it's this movie's so good, Josh. It's so good.
Yeah,
Like it's just really well
yeah.
done. Yeah. That's why I made you pass
Same.
out.
Yeah.
Um anyways, that's why I was like so excited to talk about it, because I do
I
think
was solely excited to talk about it because I
you
died.
passed out.
It killed me.
um is there anything else you wanted, like, yeah, I guess like the
I don't know.
bedroom
Like
scene I'm talking
I
about
don't I don't
is,
have much to say. Like
yeah.
Mia just made I didn't like her as a character.
Did you feel bad for her at all? Did you feel any empathy towards her? Or were you just
Not in
angry
what I saw.
or
Like she
mad at
just
her?
kind of annoyed me. Like I
Right.
felt like she was like, and I understand because she's a grieving person. She just like pushed herself into their life in that way and like was like trying to take the sister's boyfriend or whatever and like
Well,
kept talking
Alex,
about that and I
yeah.
don't know. She just
Well, Alexander Jensen plays Jade, who is the friend you're talking about, right?
mhm.
And her family. What's interesting, this is why it'd be interesting if you just skip that scene and watch the rest of the movie if you can. If you can't, it's fine. But
I might
because
be able to.
the second half of the movie, it's actually really sad because she loses them as friends. She loses that family, right?
Oh yeah.
She gets, for good reason, by the
Well,
way, she gets tossed out of that
understandably, like
family. Yeah.
she almost killed Riley. So
Right. And then her obsession becomes helping Riley, and that's what leads her into the arms of the demons. And so they're holding
into
him
the
hostage.
arms
Yeah.
of the
They're
demons.
holding him hostage to lure her in,
That's crazy. But
and then
like, why her?
she
Because she's like
becomes
in this emotional state. Because she's
no,
an easy
they just want
target.
her because she they stayed in her. They because she starts seeing them outside of the hand, right? And it's because she was
Oh,
longer than 90
that's
seconds
crazy.
at the beginning of the movie. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the movie does a good
I
job of
kind of
keeping
wish I
it,
finished this movie. I mean,
well
I
yeah.
couldn't,
Well, the movie does a good job of
but I
keeping it
wish I didn't pass
ambiguous.
out.
I mean, when you come over, maybe if you're up to it,
Yeah, might have to stay over.
I have a first aid kit, so I know first aid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just hit the floor and I'm fine. I almost bit my tongue off.
This movie does a good job because she stays. It's not, you're not sure if she stays longer than 90 seconds, but on
Yeah, see,
rewatch, someone does say that.
that's what I
Yeah,
was kind of saying. I'm like, did she?
but it keeps it all ambiguous, and this movie does a good job that a lot of horror movies are bad at. This movie sets up its rules, and then it plays with the rules a little bit, and it
Hmm.
keeps you guessing, and it keeps it ambiguous, and then in the end, it follows its rules, and you realize that
Oh,
the
yeah.
demons never really left Mia. They stuck with her because she was a tad too long, right? And that's why she becomes obsessed with them. She becomes addicted to them, to the feeling that they gave her. By the way, the Bible says that evil spirits and the devil will appear like the angel of light, right? Will make us feel good in the moment. And by the way, that is scary. That's
Yeah.
like it's a warning, right? And it's crazy that these totally non-Christian people made this movie in this way and respected that. I found they didn't just make it some like Conjuring movie or whatever, and
Hmm.
that's why it works so good. That's why it's actually scary, and that's why
That's
it's
why it made
creepy, and
me
that's why
uncomfy.
exactly. So it's
Because it's too close to home.
and by the way, these
Australia,
two
similar to Canada. I've been saying this the whole time.
what I didn't like about the movie, and I'll do this quick because Josh, you didn't watch it, but I do find that the last part of the movie is really quick. Like it's too quick. It's just it probably could have been another 10, 15 minutes of
Yeah.
just a little bit of extra dialogue or
Yeah. Yeah, I
anyways.
agree.
Even though the last scene is really well done, it just
Yeah.
goes a little bit too
I don't know. I want to watch that
fast.
scene now.
Oh, it's so good. And it's like again, the sound design. So she's in the hospital. She's kind of and the car accident. You don't even see the car accident. The camera's in the car,
See,
and
you know what?
she has Riley with on this wheelchair, and she's
Oh,
gonna push Riley in front of the car, and his sister comes and
and pushes her.
runs up to Mia, and then the next shot is in the car, and the people are driving, and then you just see the wheelchair, and then the car spins out of control, and it's all shot within the car. And so you don't actually see what happened. And then you see Mia lying on the ground and her fingers are all bent and weird and she's got blood on her. And then she wanders back into the hospital. And then the lights start. Remember her nightmare? If you caught this, she has a nightmare that she shares with Riley at the beginning. And it's a
Maybe.
nightmare of looking into a mirror and she can't see herself in the mirror, right?
Oh,
And so in the hospital, she looks in the mirror and she can't see herself. And I missed it
dang.
the first time. I caught it
She's
the
a
second time.
vampire.
And then the lights start shutting off
Straight
and
through the heart.
it's just like
And it
like
transitions
with
to the
each
hand.
no, like so
Oh.
when the lights are shutting off, it's like she sees her dad walk into the elevator, sees Riley getting better, and then she's trying to talk to them, but no one's talking to her, right? And no one's listening to her. And
Uh-huh.
then the lights start closing in around her, and then it's complete darkness. And then she hears this little like flicker, and it's like this light. And so it fills you with hope as the watcher because it's like, oh, walk to the light. It's great. And she walks to the light and it just looks
Wait,
like
that's
this
so
little
sweet.
light. And then you start to see a table and you see a candle and then you see the
Okay,
hand and you're
that's
like,
so cool.
yeah. And then you realize, oh no. And then she touches the hand and then
Oh no.
she's in
She's
someone's house
dead.
and it's like somewhere in Mexico, I think, or Guatemala. And the
Wow.
guy says, talk to me. And she's just sitting there. And there's a scene where she's trying to save Riley. Like they bring the hand into the hospital room and they put it on Riley and they try to get him to go into this, like they try to go into the spirit world in the hospital to see where he is,
That's
right?
what?
And
That's wild.
when Mia does this, this little girl shows up and sits on the bed. And then it's a ghost girl, like a dead girl from the dead world,
Oh
and
my gosh, Jordan, what?
she's talking to Mia. But remember how Mia at the beginning says, "Let me in," or yeah, Mia says that, and then the ghost possesses her. The little girl says it to Mia. So she says to Mia, "Let me in," and then Mia goes through this total trip, and so it's foreshadowing that she is becoming one of them. And then this guy at the end says, "Let me in," and she possesses him, and that's how it ends. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I definitely saw that.
It's like,
That was a really good
yeah,
part of the movie.
and the ending's kind of predictable. Like you can predict it a little
I
bit, but I think it's a good ending. I think
I I just
it's a
have to
good
say,
twist.
like,
Yeah.
I'm just shocked. Like, I'm actually shocked I passed out.
Yeah,
And
I'm glad you're okay, by the way.
like that's the
I'm
only movie that will probably make me pass out. So, talk to me on a scale of 1 to 10. You got a passed out of 10 slash NA because I'm
Are
not giving it a
you're not
score.
gonna rate it?
No.
I would give this movie out of 5 stars. I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5.
A talk to me out of 10.
There you go. Yeah.
Doors.
This movie is excellent.
I
It
should
is
just make a movie like Talk to Me, but you have to open a door.
and then the tree will kill you, right?
Hey, shh. Hey, don't tell them.
Hey, if your friend that was with you, if she wants to come on the show and talk to me,
Yeah. Well, the episode's done, so
or share the other perspective of that story.
yeah, that's true.
But that's our review of Talk to Me. There you go.
Yeah,
Well, Josh, I'm glad you're alive.
I am too. I'm not one of the like. I could have ended up being someone on the other side of the hand, and just like a crushed in
Nope,
skull.
because there is no purgatory. There's
Well, no, it's a joke. It's a
two
joke,
places,
Jordan.
Josh. There's two
Jordan,
places.
it's a joke. Oh my gosh. This guy.
This guy. That's actually a great way to end it.
I don't want to talk to you.
You scolding me like that?
I don't want to talk to you.
Talk to me,
The
Josh.
sequel, don't talk to you.
Talk to me.
No.
Let me in.
Get out of here. I'm not letting you anywhere near me.
Well, that's our review of Talk to Me. It's a
We're
good way
done.
to start our
End of
spectacular.
podcast.
Hopefully you don't pass out anymore as
The
we
band is
rate
broken up.
a bunch of scary movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, last year I watched about 20 scary movies.
That
And
shows you
fine.
how scary this movie is. There you go.
And
As Josh
this
says, it wasn't even
this
scary.
is the only movie that made me feel besides like maybe Evil Dead.
Well, I'm a little weary on you watching The Exorcist now.
I'll be fine. It's old. It's crusty.
Similar. Well, we're gonna review it, so I'm not gonna give you my thoughts on it.
I'll watch it with you. So if I do pass out,
okay.
we'll have the.
Well, thank you for listening to the Cinematic Doors podcast, and you learn that I can't take a joke seriously, and you learn that Josh scolds me. So there you go.
And that I pass out.
And then you pass out.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, if you don't like spiritual stuff or spirit world stuff, don't watch this movie. But it is a great movie. And
we'll have some movie reviews, not on demons this
spectacular season.
This
yeah, we're gonna talk about The Invisible Man. That's not demons. I don't think. Is it?
I don't know. I feel like it might be.
I feel like it might be.
Yeah.
Oh no, is everything demons?
I know like Dracula won't be.
I mean, there's demons in Dracula, but it's not like this. Yeah.
Well, is it? Are there?
I think so.
Is us demons?
I mean, it could be. It depends on how you...
Yeah, well, you could say anything is demons. You're a demon.
You could. I mean, technically, this movie could be just ghosts, right?
Yeah, or, just silly guys.
Yeah, dressed up like creepy dead things.
Fishies. Like the
I mean, that's what they are in real life. So,
anyways,
thank you for listening. And don't forget to recommend movies to us for our spectacular. We'll see you next week.
Spooky season.
Have fun with your week. Enjoy this episode, Josh.
Don't forget to close the door on the way out. Also,
ciao.
Don't pass out.
That's good advice. I'm actually really glad you're okay, Josh.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm okay too.
Okay. Ciao.